Jackson from the creepy corner has been suffering from paranormal activity for the past month. When the hauntings first came around, Jackson was frightened to be in his own home, but after a while, he managed to get used to it. Recently though, a record peak in paranormal activity happened in his house, and he has been starting to get really frustrated with whatever it thinks it has the right to mess with him. I know this is mental, but over the month of the constant ghostly experiences, Jackson failed to capture one on camera, and the video that you are about to see is the first time he managed to get something.
I haven't been back here for not too long. Can you make the light shut off? So you fuckers think that this is fucking fake? You fuckers think that this is fake? Okay.
This video was sent to his family group chat, who all called him an attention-seeking faker when he told them about what was going on. Strangely, the candle launched itself off from the table and onto the floor, and it was clear that no strings or affecting devices were attached. Jackson finally obtained his proof, and his family stopped considering him to be a psychopath. Now I am going to be very quick to introduce the next series of clips, because we have looked at the creator so many times that I have lost count. His name is Mukailo, and if you have watched another video from this channel, the name will likely ring a bell. Anyways, in the following clips, he was on one of his usual ghost hunts for a client who wanted their house cleansing, and he manages to encounter a heap of paranormal activity. Take a look at the first piece. In a mysterious manner, the wardrobe continued to open and close, whilst letting off some sort of windy noise. Mukailo stood there, trying his absolute hardest not to interfere with the spirit's fun in order to capture more evidence for his client. But eventually, it inevitably came to a halt. Most ghost hunters would have surrendered in this situation and turned back home to claim their money. However, despite already witnessing enough to get paid, Mukailo was deeply interested in this poltergeist and wanted to adventure some more, and did. He walked around the house for quite some time until he eventually came across a small, dirty room which appeared to have not been tended to in months. Mukailo chuckled to himself after seeing what state the place was in, knowing that even if the place was not haunted, the owners had a huge task in cleaning the house. Needn't they worry about this though, because the house was indeed haunted, and the next clip further proves this.
Камера дрожит.
In the room, some sort of stool began to move on its own accord, and Mikhailo was taken aback by this. Usually in the presence of a spirit you can feel it, the cold and the darkness, overruling all other conditions. However, he felt none of this, and this remains a mystery to date. Mikhailo went back home and was wire transferred his money, but it did not take long for his next job. Out of the blue, his business phone began to ring, and Mikhailo rushed to answer. You never know when the largest offer of your lifetime could spawn, so he never ignored business calls, and he was lucky he did not miss this one. A wealthy male by the name of Sebastian was willing to pay $5,000 to have his house cleansed of evil, and of course, Mikhailo accepted. This is what he found there.
Началось.
Similarly to the last house, a closet was rocking back and forth, which led Mikhailo to believe that both homes shared the same spirit type. This meant that in order to learn how to defeat one of them, he needed to learn how to defeat both. Make sure to subscribe, as Mikhailo's story will be continuing in my next video. In the year of 2010, Donna Ayres became one of the least deserving victims of a haunting ever. She was as innocent as women came and wanted nothing at all to do with evil, having religious texts and ornaments dotted all around her household. Despite this being what was supposed to be a barrier though, it did not stop her divorced husband's ghost from getting to her. You see, many years ago, Donna was in what she believed was an unhealthy marriage and decided to divorce Scott, the male in question. However, he passed away weeks before this clip was caught on tape, and theorists believe that it was very likely he was the cause.
If you're there, please can you move on to the light? I've never been through this before and I've never had any experiences like this. I've never been through this before and I beg in the Lord's name, please, just leave me be, please. It's getting quite frightening now. I have a cross coming down my bloody wall. Oh, I need help. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do it. It's not listening to me. Why would it listen to me? Oh.
The Holy Cross of Jesus Christ slowly eased its way down the wall, and when Donna chose to beckon for help, rather than sit in silence, it thudded onto the ground. If that was the act of her ex-husband, Scott, then maybe it was a great idea to get rid of him. No man who throws a cross to the ground is a man. Elf on the Shelf is a gimmick that has been going on for a very long time, and it is safe to say that the majority of people watching this video are aware of its purpose. I must say that young children should cover their ears though, because what is about to happen reveals stuff that you guys cannot know.
So this is Carol, our Christmas elf. Hello, Carol. Hey, tell Santa we've been really good, okay?
Now, as all of us older people are aware, it is actually the parents who move the elves, which means that they are not in fact supposed to have lives of their own. Because of this, the way its eyes moved in the first place should have been impossible, which leads me, and many other like-minded people, towards one simple conclusion. Some sort of spirit was using the elf as a vessel to gain a somewhat humanoid form again and decided to give this poor woman a fright. Our world is riddenced with non-believers in the paranormal world, and people like the man in the next clip try day in, day out to prove the existence of these interesting entities. No matter how much these people try though, non-believers will always find a logical solution to it, whether it be fishing wire or a minor earthquake. The man in this video, however, did a pretty excellent job at convincing. Have a watch.
This video is for the people out there who think I'm making fake ghost videos. Here's my hands. I have no strings attached to anything. That right there is a vent to my air conditioner unit for the air to come out. There's nothing attached to that. I don't know why some dude thought I was using that for a hoax. I'm in here. I'm hearing strange noises from my living room. Let's check out what we can conjure up. Let's go on the other side of the phone. Here's my hand. Here we go. I'm not going to stop talking so no one thinks I stopped editing, okay? Now, let's see what I can conjure up. If there's any spirits here, feel free to show yourself. Let yourself be known. Apparently I'm haunted because I bought a fucking doll from an estate sale. Is there anything here? Hello? Anybody want to speak? Is anyone here? Hello? Yeah, you saw that fucking shit, didn't you? Hello? You saw that fucking shit? Yeah, explain that fucking shit. Hello? Explain that fucking shit. Fuck that, I'm out of here.
Somehow, despite there being absolutely no cuts and no wire of any sort connected to the pictures, both of them collapsed out of nowhere, almost undeniably proving that poltergeists roam the earth. Of course, as I said though, there will always be a select few people who even choose to deny proof this incredibly surreal, and if you are one of those, then feel free to comment why this was fake. I am keen to hear your reasoning, and am open to being proved wrong. I do not, however, believe that anyone will convince me otherwise that a ghost did this. The night shift. By far one of, if not the most dreaded words for any working person. Working this late has many negative effects, such as ruining your sleep schedule, leaving you a mess the next day, and taking all enjoyment out of the job, which is why so many people hate it. However, after watching the clip that I am about to put on screen, all of these night shift haters will count themselves lucky that they have not been forced to encounter what this poor employee did. His name was Baz, and he worked in a storage faculty. At night, he was left alone in one of the buildings to cater for late dispatches, which did not come much. Little did he know that something else was on shift with him.
Yo por esto les digo que a mí no me gusta quedarme en la oficina solo. La neta, qué mala onda, güey, que se fueron, güey. Les pedí que me esperaran. A mí ya me habían pasado estas cosas. La neta, no se vale.
En una oficina de México se den cosas paranormales constantemente. Uno de los empleados capta en video los impactantes eventos que ahí ocurren. Vamos a verlos.
Güey, yo por esto les digo que a mí no me gusta quedarme en la oficina solo. La neta, qué mala onda, güey, que se fueron, güey. Les pedí que me esperaran. A mí ya me habían pasado estas cosas. La neta no se vale. Güey. Ahí va. ¡Ey! Ay, güey. ¡Ey! ¿Quién anda ahí? Le voy a marcar a la policía, ¿eh? Esto es propiedad privada. ¡Ay, güey! ¡Ey! ¡Ey! ¡Tú, ven acá! Yo ya voy a pagar todo y yo ya me voy. La neta no es justo, güey. Ustedes me vuelven a hacer esto y yo les renuncio, güey. Ya vámonos a dormir. Yo no estoy para estos jugueteos. Hasta el vecino tiene que venir. Bueno. ¡Ay, güey! No. Ay, güey, vamos ya.
All sorts of unexplainable, outrageously spooky stuff happened within a small time span, leading Baz to chase around this spirit for a long period of time. Now you probably thought that the paranormal activity put enough on the poor man's plate, but his employer did not think in the same way. Baz was sacked for not finishing his work on schedule, and no sympathy was given to him. Harsh, I know. In the following video, the time was 4 a.m. and Sakina was fast asleep. She was a very deep sleeper, and usually her soulmate would have to shake her a lot in order to get her out of bed. This night was strange and different though. At 4, Sakina started to hear her dog howling from downstairs, accompanied by some cold sort of feeling that she is still unable to describe. Due to her boyfriend being out of town, she was forced to go downstairs and investigate, but what she found was definitely unexpected.
Eran las 4 de la mañana y mi perrita no paraba de ladrar cuando salí. Capté esto.
Her dog was barking at seemingly nothing, but upon closer inspection, a shadow figure could be seen in the clip, indicating a ghostly presence. Being the innocent girl she was, Sakina brushed this off as being quote-unquote weird lighting and went back inside, but things only became worse from here.
Hola, gente. Otra vez el ruido ese. Poco estoy haciendo compañía hoy, pero ya estoy sola. Todo el día se escucha un ruido de abajo y la verdad que no sé. Ay, la con olor a algo ahí. Sora. Sora, subí. Ay, no, Dios santo. Nera.
At first, Shiva thought the hands were a prank from her boyfriend, but as she approached them, they seemingly no-clipped through the stairs. This was pure proof that she was dealing with a spirit and not a bored boyfriend. On March 24th of 2024, a Spanish native called Danny was relaxing in his living room. He had just made himself some dinner and was eating it on the sofa whilst watching TV. However, he wasn't going to be allowed to enjoy this perfect moment for very long.
Siguen los sonidos en mi casa muy extraños. ¿Qué coño? ¡Oh! ¡Para! ¡Joder, María! ¿Te puedes creer eso? Lo estás viendo, ¿eh? Estoy documentando todo. Esto va peor. Joder, tío. ¡Ay!
Strangely, the white chair slid on its own accord, and it was very clear that no strings were attached to the object. As well as this, Danny lived by himself since he broke up with his girlfriend, meaning that no one else was in the building with him that night. In response to the chair, he decided to give it to his friend Alvaro, who took it in a heartbeat because he just moved into an apartment after university. The chair hasn't acted up whilst in his apartment yet, leading Danny to believe that the spirit must have been attached to his house rather than the object. Previously on this channel, we've looked into the haunted life of Jorge Luis, a father of two who loved his family to pieces. In the particular video we're discussing today, he was in the kitchen on the phone with his wife, preparing lunch for her and the children's arrival. Suddenly though, the atmosphere grew cold and a sense of emptiness overcame him. He knew that something was wrong but didn't act upon it just in case it triggered his spirit that he had been dealing with for so long to do something. Little did Jorge know that it would act anyway.
Yeah, but it's, I don't know. Well, you have asked me if everything was going good. And I have told you about, it's okay, but it's just like the vibe here is not normal. I don't like it. It's like a big dark. Yeah, I don't know, like, oh, you remember that? Like the light of the bedroom? That thing was just like, yeah, for no reason I was just turning on by itself and on and off, yeah. Oh, fuck, hell no!
In an aggressive manner, the baby chair launched across the room towards Jorge, and he was taken very aback by this. He quickly sprinted out of the house and got into his car to go and pick up his family so that he didn't have to deal with the rubbish for any longer. Jorge's ghost has been with him and for years now, and it's very likely you'll hear his name on this channel again. Another person's life we've looked into on this channel is Donna Ayres, and her story is actually quite a sad one. Throughout her life, she had multiple children who all catered for her very well in adulthood, but in the year leading up to the sudden haunting of her house, both her husband and her father died. It was an extremely tough time for Donna, but she was tough and powered through it. It didn't help that one of these past relatives decided to stay by her side though.
Hey guys, just come in and I've just put the camera straight onto the chandelier because it moved. And it was just before I took the picture of the cross on the wall where I don't even know why that shadow's there. But the thought of the Lord watching over me is a good thing. But it did move, and that's why I'm just stood here now. Please, can you do it? No. What the fuck? That's not me, is it, with the camera? Wow. Hang on, guys, I'm just going to get a better view because this is amazing. I'm just going to turn the light up a bit as well. Wow. If that's you, please move it again. That is moving. Oh my god, that is moving. Oh, thank you. Wow. That is amazing. There's a couple of little kind of white specks what I'm seeing on the camera here, but that's just the light I think shining off. That's not orbs or anything. But that chandelier is moving. going crazy. There's nothing even there. I'm sorry if that's come through. But it just did beep for a message. Wow. And if anybody's wondering, the lines on the roof that you can see there, these two lines here, they're the reflection of the chain there. There is nothing, there's nothing there. This is all happening around me, and I just capture it as it goes. I'm not used to it now. Check it out, that is amazing. Well, if that's you, Pops, thank you. Is that you, Dad? Yeah. I don't like that. If it is you, Pops, then thank you for letting me know you're here. I don't know what the dark feeling is though that I get every time you're about, because I never got that when you were here. Wow. Wow. I'm just mesmerized. If you guys capture anything around what's going on here, please leave comments and let me know, because obviously I can't see very well. Wow. I'm absolutely mesmerized. How is this possible? Seriously, it just boggles my mind. Well, I'll tell you what, spirits are real. I know that. Oh yeah. That's you, innit, Dad? Just goes mental every time I say it. Wow. What the fuck? I don't know if you guys caught that live, but there was a big bang then. And there's no one above me or below me. Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, thank you very much for that. Thank you so much. And I don't know if that was you that was banging, but I'm going to upload now and have a listen and see what I've got with that. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you.
In an unexplainable fashion, the chandelier started moving around by itself, and all of the windows were closed, so it couldn't have possibly been anything to do with the wind. On top of this, once Donna asked if it was her father doing this, the light started going crazy, which lines up with the video we looked at in a former video. Every instance that Donna asks if the spirit is her father, it goes wild. It doesn't take a genius to connect those dots. The ghost was most definitely that of her deceased dad, and she sees this as both a positive and a negative. At first glance, the presence of him made and still makes Donna feel uncomfortable and cold. However, at least she knows that he will always be with her in her heart. In the following video, A man was walking through the streets of Spain late at night when he came across something that he would have never anticipated. He had been to the local bar with a ton of his mates, but got a call from his girlfriend saying she wanted him home early, so he had to leave by himself at around 11 p.m. The first 5 minutes were extremely relaxing and calm. No cars, no people, and no noise. However, there was something else roaming the streets.
Estoy caminando por la calle, ¿ve? Y estoy llegando a mi casa. Y ven el árbol, ven allá. ¿Lo ven? Acá. Ahí en el medio.
If we zoom in closely at the 6-second timestamp, a very faint shadow figure becomes visible for a split second. Now this was very spooky, and the man, Karim, was stumped. Unfortunately though, this was only the beginning of a horrible saga.
Hay como una figura oscura. Me llamó muchísimo la atención de la cuadra anterior que lo veía. A ver, vamos acá. Mi casa está acá a la vuelta. No hay nada. No sé.
That scream made Karim jump out of his skin, and I'm sure it made you do the same. Comment if it did or not. Karim sprinted away from the tree as fast as he could and turned many corners. His town was a dodgy one, and he didn't want to take any chances with getting caught by a gang at that time. He ran and he ran, until eventually he was lost.
Estoy sintiendo hace un rato ruido acá atrás. Y no sé qué mierda es. O esto es re oscuro. Hey, hola. Hey. Concha de tu madre. ¿Qué carajo es eso? Ah, una sombra y veo cosas por todos lados. Este es un cuarto, la casa de acá atrás es como un cuarto que guardamos cosas, pero estoy sintiendo como un golpeteo. Bueno, no, nada. Ey, puta madre. Todo el tiempo ruido. No.
The abandoned building he came across was full of spooky noises and had a very chilly feeling to it. It was the last place that anybody in Karim's situation would have wanted to end up at. He had already found himself there though, so there was nothing to lose. After a few minutes of hyping himself up and plucking up the courage, he went inside.
¿Se escucha el ruido? Acá está la habitación de mi hija. Puta madre. Ey. Uy, se siente re fría esta habitación. ¿Qué carajo? El ruido viene de acá adentro, me parece. Concha de tu madre, la concha de tu madre. Otra vez, ¿eh? Ruido acá adentro. ¿Qué onda?
Immediately after entering the building, he found the room of a supposed child called Rebecca, and the sheer amount of shivers Karim received upon entering was quote-unquote indescribable. Whilst in the room he could hear the crying of a little girl, the music of a toy, and all of the items started to move by themselves. It wasn't looking too good for him. Once he heard the girl crying, though he was able to piece together the puzzle and understand that Rebecca was the one who was haunting him that night. but the question of why still remained. He stopped recording on his phone and tried to message his girlfriend to see if she could get in the car and come to pick him up. Unfortunately though, he decided to look at the top of the screen and something very harsh hit him. The abandoned house had no service whatsoever. This is when he sat down with himself and made the bravest decision of his entire life. His goal was to find out why this random little girl was tormenting him. With a mission set, he was ready. Similarly to last time, he was led back to the girl's room other than any other, which leads me to believe that she couldn't leave it after entering. The return of the laughter also hit Kareem, but none of these aspects were on the same level as what he saw when he opened the drawer, the same bear as earlier, and Kareem explained that the aura it had was off the charts, an aura of despair and evil, and just like last time, it turned the lights off and screamed, but this wasn't the end of Kareem's problems. In the next video on this channel, he will have a second appearance and things get much worse. If any of you have learned one fact from this channel, it's that basements are the most common place for our clips to happen in. They are seemingly the perfect locations for evil to brew, and nobody actually knows why. The following video took place in the basement, and is probably one of the weirdest videos we've looked at. The way in which the spirit was triggered was very unique, and I doubt we'll see anything like it ever again.
So, obviously, we've had this ghost for a while. Yeah, we've tried sage. We've tried all that. That's why we kind of made a joke out of it. But, based on all of your advice, I have taken a couple of items that I've inherited from my family's 60-year business in Mexico. And I've inherited a lot of stuff, so one by one, I've been sticking a couple of things in this box in the basement. Now, when my wife said that she whistled today, and she heard something in the basement, so... I'm not really sure if I should... Ooh. We've been stacking up these boxes for the kids to sit and play with. Oh, jeez. No. We'll go down, take a look at what that is tomorrow.
For some peculiar reason, the spirit in question was triggered using the sound of a whistle, which understandably baffled the family living through it. As well as this, as if one cardboard box wasn't terrifying enough for the man, the ghost decided to launch a full stack of them at him, which, while not dangerous, was still showing its true power. What made things even weirder was that the family never experienced anything paranormal again, and this was only a one-day thing. Weird on another level. Spirits are a lot more common than you think, with new paranormal sightings being uploaded to the internet every single day. It's quite terrifying, actually. However, one method that they use which isn't so common is possession. And in the following video, this extremely rare phenomenon was caught on camera. The duo were using something called a K2 meter, which was meant to detect the movement of ghosts in the room and make noise to be sure that the owners knew. The one in this video was going rogue, and they very quickly found out why.
We have captured one of the most scariest videos ever today. I'm still a bit shaken. This is what my dad's camera caught of my reaction. Dad? Dad? Oh my god. Dad? Dad! And this is what my camera caught of my dad.
You cold. You roasting? What are you on about?
Got a headache as well. A really bad one. Freezing. I'm really chilly.
I'm roasting. You alright?
Yeah, hey.
You alright? Dad? 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 Oh my god. Dad? Dad!
The head.
What are you doing? What have you done that?
Headache.
Why have you just shouted that at
I
me?
shouted, stop shouting, I got a headache.
Oh my god, what are you doing?
I haven't shouted.
Yes, you have. You just shouted, get out.
I haven't.
And your face looks so different.
Out of nowhere, the man's eyes started rolling and his face started to look very different. His daughter started beckoning him to speak, but he was just sitting there blankly, not a single word exiting his mouth. That was until he lashed out. Unsurprisingly, the sheer aggression from her father made the daughter terrified, and she didn't really know how to respond to it. At least she found out that it wasn't actually him, which is arguably a better scenario in terms of their relationship. In the following video, Ashraf, a young adult, had lost a bet with his friend group, and his punishment was to enter an abandoned hospital for 20 minutes and film it as proof. If he failed his mission, then he would have to pay his entire friend group $100 each, which would have totaled up to nearly $1,000, money that he couldn't afford to lose. Upon entering the hospital, there was nothing in there, and he surprisingly felt a sense of warmth and comfort. It took just 10 minutes for this sense to be completely erased, though, and replaced with something horrible.
Escuchen, no manchen. Hoy. A lo mejor es el aire, amigos. A lo mejor es el aire. A lo mejor es el aire el que está dando el abanico.
Y él se regresó por el otro lado. No, mire que es, amigos, fue mi imaginación. O se regresó por el otro lado, amigos. Ve cómo se desenfoca. ¿Alguien está aquí? ¿Alguien está aquí? Escucho que camina alguien. Escucho que camina alguien. Se quedó parado. Se quedó parado.
Somehow, the ceiling fan started to rotate on its own accord, except not the way it was meant to. Ceiling fans are meant to spin rapidly to generate cold air and waft it into humans. However, this one was moving eerily slowly, almost like something was pushing it, rather than an electric current doing the trick. Dolls are some of the creepiest children's toys known to man, and it's obvious why this agenda has been pushed to us all. Many horror films that include paranormal activity showcase dolls in their most creepy forms, possession, and sometimes these evil phenomenons are captured outside of Hollywood. In the following video, a trio were in the garden looking into their collection of dolls as they were certain that there was an eerie feeling surrounding them all. Just before they started recording, the doll in pink moved its arm, but that was nothing compared to its next trick.
Interesting. I really don't know what to make of these dolls. I know that they all are haunted dolls. I'm pretty much 100% sure now that they are all haunted for sure. I mean, we already know that the big one is because we've seen her move in my office. All you fans out there have seen her do something. I'm not taking her with me when I move, so if any of you are interested in that doll, please let me know, because I don't want to keep her, but I'd like her to go to a good home. I mean, if there's somebody out there that's interested, I don't... Did that fucking thing just move?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me?
Her freaking face just moved towards you.
Oh my god, Heather.
Like that legitly just moved.
Oh my god. Clay, did you see that shit?
When you said you're not taking her with you.
Oh my god.
What was that?
No, I just heard that.
I just heard a girl's voice.
Are you serious? That wasn't one of you?
No.
Oh my god. Oh my god, she really just move?
Her face.
Oh hell no.
What the hell, Mom?
Oh my god. Heather, I got the cold chills from the top of my head to my freaking toe. Oh my god.
What the hell?
Oh my god, I cannot believe this shit.
I know, this is just insane.
This is freaking crazy, Heather. She actually moved.
And then this wind chime behind us just went crazy. Like, I don't know what to think of this. And then this doll here definitely moved.
I'm like blown away here. I am so blown away. The fuck is that? What is that?
The wind.
Two huge things happened in this recording that could not be ignored. First of all, whilst the eldest of the three was discussing passing the doll onto a new owner who was interested in haunted memorabilia, it tilted its head perfectly in her direction, perhaps indicating resentment towards the idea of having a new home. After this, the spirit presence started to ring the bells in the back garden, forcing them all to turn around in fear. Whatever was haunting them didn't only have control of the dolls, it had control of everything around them. The family did end up moving house in the end, and passed the doll onto a collector of creepy items. He loved it to pieces, and kept it in a clear box to observe its movements, etc. At least some fun was found out of it. In the video you're about to watch, a group of people who call themselves the Memorable Supernatural INC were investigating a building which had been home to several reports of supernatural activity over the past month. So much had gone on there that it was mandatory for someone to come and see what the problem was, hence why the group were called down to take a look. They were chosen due to their huge reliability and cheap rates, making them a perfect fit for a mid-range investigation like this. Despite being labeled a mid-level search though, the events that unfolded took it way above this status. Take a look.
Você quer me matar do susto, velho? Rapaz do céu, mano. Eu ri o Lula porque eu tô aqui, pessoal. Essa claridade pega no meu, eu não consigo ver. Igual da outra vez, ó. A luz pega, eu não consigo ver, pessoal. Não adianta o negócio aqui, fica no olho, ó. Eu não consigo ver. Rapaz do céu, moço. Rapaz, você é louco, moço. Pessoal, vou ser sincero pra vocês, cara. O coração quase voou na boca agora, mano. Você é louco? Olha, minha nossa. Olha isso. Cara do céu. Olha isso. Olha isso. Olha isso, cara. Impressionante. Isso aqui abriu, cara. Abriu aqui, ó. Rapaz.
Você é louco? Ô Lúcio, você vai fazer o seguinte, você vai tirar essa camiseta, pera aí, não tira não. Você vai pôr outra camiseta aqui, ó. Toma essa aqui, você vai pôr essa aqui mesmo. Pega essa aí, você vai tirar, não tira aí não. Eu não posso filmar, senão vai me dar problema aqui no YouTube. Você vai tirar essa camiseta, você põe essa outra. É, pelo que tá acontecendo aqui, entendeu? Pode ser que seja algo na roupa, mas você vai tirar essa camiseta, você põe essa...
Somehow, the cabinet shot open without any human interaction and even closed itself, meaning that something or someone must have done it. The only problem was that nothing was in sight. After experiencing this, the man looked inside the cabinet to investigate what he could find, but nothing was on the other side. Not even the wind can make things move like that. He quickly ended that specific tape and sent it over to his boss, who was compiling a file for the people paying them to do this job. This evidence would be minor compared to the other things they would capture, though. Later on in the day, the group decided to have a little rest, as they had been searching for the entire day when a disturbance decided to disrupt them. It was very weird and looked extremely unnatural. Even the experts back in their company couldn't explain what kind of spirit caused it.
Você vai tirar a camiseta aí, ok, Lúcio? Isso, vai com jeito, tira a camiseta. É isso, Lúcio. Tá dando certo aí? Então tá. Não posso filmar você tirando, tá certo. É isso. Bom, vamos estar com outra camiseta agora, pessoal. Opa! Cadê a camiseta, Lúcio? Cadê a camiseta, velho? Cadê a camiseta? Aonde, moço? Aonde, velho? Rapaz, caça aí, cadê a camiseta? Moço, onde foi parar? Eu tinha posto aqui a camiseta, eu troquei por ele aqui.
Pode ver ali, ó, não tá ali. Ai, meu Deus do céu.
Minha nossa, dá uma olhada aí atrás.
Aí.
Olha isso, pessoal. Ai. Cara do céu, velho. Arrasta o sofá. Arrasta esse sofá. Arrasta.
Shockingly, the carpet slung itself off from the sofa onto the floor, and the duo in the room were taken very aback from this. They called for the other 3 people upstairs to come and see if they could detect something, but by the time they arrived on scene, all evidence of a sighting was gone. Now the group had more than enough evidence of paranormal activity, and they decided to give one big attempt to get rid of whatever was haunting the property. Their contract with the house owner stated that if they were able to get rid of the spirit, then they would be paid an additional $300, a bonus that no man could possibly turn down. They set up their equipment in the kitchen and gave one big attempt. It's up to you to decide how that went in the comments.
Tem jeito que eu levanto o braço aqui, mas eu tava olhando pra ela, não queria perder um momento aqui. Você sentiu algo aqui agora? Quem é que está aqui neste lugar? O que você sentiu, Lúcio?
Calafrio, parece que tinha algo perto atrás de mim.
O que é isso? O que é que você tá sentindo?
Calafrio, uma coisa esquisita, parece que tem algo.
Tá tremendo a mão, Lúcio? Olha o jeito da vela, cara. É torta ou não é, pessoal? Hã? Meu nome é Ulisses Deadline. E eu sei que minha presença desloca espíritos obscuros de lugares e cantos como esse. Quem é que está aqui? Opa, que é isso? Que é isso?
Ai, meu Deus do céu.
Rapaz! Minha nossa, vocês viram o jeito que mexeu isso aqui, cara? Cara, é impressionante. Minha nossa. Você é louco? Lúcio, calma, Lúcio. Calma. Eu vou estar fazendo uma limpeza aqui no local. Cara, eu tô inteiro arrepiado, cara. É impressionante ou não é? É impressionante ou não é? Olha isso. Olha isso. Rapaz. Deixa eu ficar com isso aqui, ó. Eu vou estar fazendo uma limpeza aqui neste local. Nós vamos estar fazendo uma limpeza aqui nesse local, Lúcio. Cara, é impressionante ou não é? Você é louco, pra mim deu.
In the middle of their ritual to communicate with the ghost and identify its reason for being present, the chairs started moving, and this wasn't a good sign. While you are communicating with a ghost, it's a bad sign if it begins to move objects without being prompted to do so. This was happening here and closed their report for the day. The group decided that $300 wasn't enough to deal with a ghost of this manner. Their negotiations failed, and the owner looked for someone else to do the trick. This man was home alone when suddenly the lights started to flicker all around him. He had no idea what to do, so he instinctively reached for his phone to record what was going to happen next. If he didn't, then there was no doubt he would be called crazy by anyone he dared to share the story with. He explained after the incident that it was the spookiest moment of his life and he wouldn't get paid to live it again. Let me know if you think he was exaggerating in the comments. I certainly don't.
Amigo, o estoy loco o se está moviendo la mesa del comedor sola. Mira. O sea, ¿ves? ¿Ves que se está moviendo eso? Y la mesa recién se estaba moviendo ahí, boludo. Mirá, 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 boludo. ¿Qué mierda? What the fuck?
The table moved very aggressively in a way which could have quite easily harmed the man behind the camera. He claimed that a feeling of cold wept over him as the table moved and his hairs stood up on his arms, both common signs that a spirit was having some good fun. The next day, the same man was on his sofa in the living room watching television, and all of a sudden the air purifier unplugged itself. Following the same sequence as the day before, he took out his camera and started filming to see what evidence he could gather. And to his dismay, it wasn't good.
Amigo, ¿te acordás que te dije que tengo un espíritu en mi casa, chabón? Mirá la silla. ¿Ves, boludo? ¡Ay, qué impresión, amigo!
The chair moved right in front of his eyes, which proved to everyone he wanted to share the event with that nothing he said was fake. Whatever this ghost was, it was safe for the man to say that it wasn't a shy one. Alex, an adult fairly new into the adult world, had recently inherited his grandma's house, and he was pleased that she decided to pass it on to him. He had been really struggling financially since finishing college and never managed to get into university, so an inherited place to stay was the most helpful thing in the world. Although pleased with his property though, he was of course upset about his grandma's passing and cried quite frequently about it. They were very attached when he was younger. He was going to miss her, but little did he know that she was right next to him.
Okay, I am up here where all the different, scary activity has happened, and I'm hearing what sounds like somebody walk around on the floorboards. As I'm up here, I can feel, the pressure of steps landing around me. I don't really know what's going on. It just seems pretty fucking crazy to me. I don't know. This is not what I signed up for when I got this house.
Whilst walking around upstairs, the perfect silhouette of his grandma was standing in the doorway, and after slowing it down, Alex was even more certain that he knew what he was looking at. Upon alarming the rest of his family though, they explained that he was in a time of grief, and what he captured was probably just a reflection or a shadow, essentially deeming him to be crazy. Do you agree? Give your thoughts down below and subscribe whilst you're down there. Storage buildings are some of the most eerie places someone can visit. Take that from someone who used to visit them every other day. These places are literal corridors that stretch very far and usually have nobody else on them. making it feel empty. It's the closest thing humanity has to the back rooms, and that's saying something. In the upcoming clip, Wayne and Manuel, two owners of a business, were next to their storage unit, adding some new stock to it that they had just received. Little did they know, though, that someone else was in there, and they couldn't even see who.
Se escucha adentro. Es la verga.
Randomly, the sound of a child crying and screaming echoed around the storage place, and this was creepy for many reasons. Either a real child was in pain and needed help, or a paranormal spirit was messing with them. The latter was the more likely option. Over the past week, Juan had been hearing the same noises at night, and he was sure to alert his business partner that this was the case. Hurriedly, they closed their storage unit and locked it before hurrying out of the building. On their way out, they questioned the receptionist on whether or not they heard the noise, and the answer they got was shocking. The woman had not heard a peep. Home they went. Once they arrived home, Juan decided to do some paperwork in his office and closed the door to make sure no disturbances took him out of his working state of mind. However, something was already in there with him, and it did exactly what he wanted to avoid. Out of the blue, tons of items started falling off shelves, and no, there was not a magnitude 10 earthquake going on. In fact, there wasn't an earthquake at all. The duo still deal with the so-called storage spirit to this day and have no idea how to get rid of it. Feel free to help them in the comments in case they see this. On October the 25th of 2023, nearing 10 p.m., a family were all settling down before getting ready for bedtime. The mother was laying down in the living room after a long day of work while the kids were all talking to each other at the table, full of energy, as always. The night was one of the most normal ones the family had ever had. Barely any arguments and a couple of tired parents, however, things were going to get weird much quicker than expected. Randomly, some demonic noises started to be heard, and the mother of the family asked the children what they were doing. She was used to them messing around and causing chaos, so of course they were the first people she pinned blame onto. However, they denied everything. Too tired to argue, the woman rolled back into rest, but this is when the entire sofa moved out of the blue. Stuff like that does not happen naturally. There must have been a ghost present. In the following video, a young and innocent girl was showing off her doll's cutlery when it suddenly decided to show its gratitude. She owned the doll for over 6 years, and her parents insisted on purchasing some new cosmetics every month if she was good. She had just received some at the time of this recording. It was approximately 3 p.m. when she decided to show the new cutlery set, and things got creepy fast.
Cuchilla. Ahora tengo dos tenedores así, uno rosita, igual que el cuchillo que mostré al principio, no sé si lo mostré al principio, y este tenedor amarillo. Pues tener, que se me está cayendo todo, perdón, se me está cayendo todo. Dos cuchillos amarillos iguales, tenemos otro cuchillo amarillo, pero más como amarillo flúor. Una cuchara un rosquete para aplanar masa, una cucharita y un tenedor. Bueno, ya. Después, las tacitas. Tengo esta tacita rosita y esta tacita como fucsia. Huevo. ¿Sí?
Strangely, the doll moved, and at first the girl didn't notice what had happened. Confused, she turned back to the camera and continued to show off her new collection, but the doll definitely wanted some recognition for its acts. It moved again, this time right in front of the poor girl's eyes, and she instinctively ran to her mother. We haven't been updated since, but what we do know is that she hasn't uploaded any doll videos. Edward, a strong believer in the paranormal world, had been experiencing paranormal activities for the past few months. Eventually, he had enough of the repetitive disruptions and decided to keep track of them through using a YouTube channel. Here he would upload his documentations, whether that be first-hand phone footage or stuff from the security, and gather a binder of evidence for his local church, of which he wished to inform of the incidents. Here is one of the pieces of footage his cameras managed to capture.
Sunday the 19th of July.
Strangely, this ghost was extremely energetic and did things at an extraordinarily fast rate. It threw all sorts of items to the ground, including cutlery, which is dangerous considering Edward had a dog which would know no better than to stand on a fork or something silly like that. Edward brought this video to his local church in hopes that they would bless the household of any evil entities, and they happily did so. It is unknown whether or not this was a success or not. In the following video, an electric company came to visit a house that was being sold to new owners. They were paid to check up and fix any issues with the electricity, and their pay would fluctuate based on how many problems they actually ended up finding. During their stay, they discovered 4 electrical issues and got them fixed for the current owner. But there was one problem that could not be changed, no matter who was hired to make an impact. There was a paranormal entity present. For some strange reason, the ladder continued to move on its own accord and creeped away from the location that it was initially set in. This, for more than obvious reasons, freaked out the electrician in the room, who went on to show his clients the footage, and then the boss reported it to the owner. They negotiated a $50 pay rise for the inconvenience and finished the tasks on the day. The house was eventually sold to a new family, but little did they know what they were in store for. Children's toys are some of the most wholesome objects on the planet, designed to make little ones smile. They come in all sorts of forms, from dolls to cars, all the way to smaller instrument variations, so it's safe to say that there is a toy for every child imaginable. However, there is one instance that these toys become some of the most demented and uncomfortable things known to man, and the upcoming video is an example of this. Out of nowhere, once the man entered the room, the toy car jolted to the side, which made no sense considering it was not designed to move. Even if it was, he revealed that it had no batteries inside it, which also made the voice it made impossible. The toy was doing far too much that it shouldn't have been able to, so the father immediately pinned down the cause to being a paranormal entity. Was he correct? I guess we'll never know. But what we do know is that the toy truck is long gone. In a recent video on this channel, we explored the household of Letitia, a young French woman who had been experiencing a surge of paranormal activity out of nowhere. This paranormal activity led her to discover a key, which opened up the basement of which the previous owner stated they lost the keys for it. Regardless of whether they lied or genuinely thought that the keys were missing, Letitia ventured into the basement to see what was up with it, and it had a very odd feeling to it. It actually used to be an air raid shelter during the Second World War, and an unfortunate amount of people passed away in there. This perfectly explained the weird aura to it. After exploring, Letitia vowed to never enter the basement again and relocked it. She did keep the keys though, but there was one thing she didn't choose to keep: her vow.
C'est bon, je vais enlever l'échelle pour plus qu'il y ait des gens qui rentrent chez moi. Oh là là, ça fait trop peur. C'est par ici qu'ils doivent rentrer. J'ai des squatteurs chez moi, genre les squatteurs qui rentrent par ici. Ah, c'est bon. Donc maintenant les squatteurs ils vont plus jamais rentrer. J'espère que c'est fini cette histoire, genre. Donc je ferme et je récupère la clé. Je reviendrai plus jamais ici. Normalement il n'y aura plus de squatteurs. Parce que là, je crois que j'ai jamais vécu ça de ma vie. C'est vrai. La maison date de 1970. Franchement, c'est grave. J'ai trop envie de rentrer chez moi. Je fais que des cauchemars depuis que je suis ici. Regardez la tête des tableaux. Regardez à quel point ça fait flipper. J'ai remarqué il n'y a pas longtemps qu'il y a une empreinte ici. Là, on la voit bien. On la voit bien, regardez. Regardez.
Just 3 days after making her vow to never visit the basement again, she was down there, and this time she gave a more thorough search. In case you didn't watch the last video with Letitia featured, the first time she tried to enter, some kind of force pushed the door shut against her, so she was confident that someone was down there. Despite this confidence though, this search did nothing, and she walked back inside, confused with her confusion, only being amplified from that point. Weirdly, some music started to play from the radio, and this made zero sense, because Letitia lived home alone. Unless her house had been burgled, it must have been a ghost that activated it. No one was in there. She had clearly released the spirits from the basement into the houser, and this scenario wasn't the only time that this became evident. On September 10th, 24 hours after the music played, Letitia was fixing something when some clutter could be heard from the kitchen. You know she had to go and investigate it, so she did, but what she came across was far from anything she could have ever dreamt of.
Je vais m'enfermer dans ma chambre. Oh la vache. De toute façon, tout ça c'est fini. En septembre, je rentre enfin chez moi. Je suis sûre. Il y a la spatule qui est tombée par terre, genre. On est où?
Immediately after hearing the bang, she went into the kitchen and found that her spatula had somehow collapsed onto the floor. As well as this, many other objects chose to move in front of her very eyes, leaving her kitchen a mess. When an item fell from the cupboard, Letitia was sent running back to her bedroom in fear before locking the door closed. If the other events weren't enough to convince Letitia her house was haunted, this one definitely did, and she decided that it was time to take action on the spirits. She watched some YouTube tutorials on how to combat certain ghost types, and one came up for war ghosts, which she assumed these ones were. She listened to what it had to say.
Je suis retournée dans la maison hantée et on va essayer d'enlever les esprits qu'il y a dedans. Donc j'ai pris de la sauge, du sel. J'ai entendu du bruit. On va faire brûler la sauge, les gars, on va faire brûler la sauge. C'est bon. Les gars. Mon cœur il bat à 3000. Écoutez mon cœur. Les gars, vous entendez mon cœur?
A shadow figure could be seen if you paid close attention to the glimpse of light by the door. It appeared to peek around the doorway at Letitia before slowly easing away once she turned in its direction. Fortunately, she missed out. This was the last video on the topic uploaded by the woman, although she did make a vow to continue updating us. If we've learned one thing about her from this story though, she doesn't keep vows, and it doesn't usually leave her in a good place. Marcus was searching an old sports stadium when he heard some repetitive banging coming from the changing rooms. The stadium was supposed to have nobody else present since it was no longer being used, but Marcus and his group really started to question this fact when this happened to them.
Bueno, ya son como las 11 de la noche y la tercera vez que estoy escuchando este ruido de mierda. No sé qué está pasando, pero lo quiero grabar ahora para que después me crea la gente, porque esto nunca me pasó y nada, lo quería grabar, qué sé yo, estoy podrido, la concha de la lora. Digo, mi linterna, no sé para qué mierda la traje. Dios. Puta que te parió. Puta que te parió. Concha de la lora. La concha de la lora. Pero como mierda puede ser que no haya nada hoy. Ya es la tercera vez. Tercera vez que entro y no hay nada. Dios, me quiero ir. Me quiero ir.
Randomly, they started to hear banging noises coming from the ground floor, and staying cautious, they ventured into the unknown. They came across a wooden door, and to their confusion, it was opening and closing itself repetitively. This was something that none of them could explain. Instinctively, they walked into the room to find out what on earth was going on, and found nothing. Surprisingly, the stadium had no background lore which could point into the direction of paranormal activity. Such an event was completely out of the blue and still goes unexplained to this day. The piece of footage you are about to see was captured using a vehicle's dash cam and was very fortunate to have been caught. The incident lasted a singular second, so it was the definition of blink, and you miss it. Luckily for us, cameras don't blink. It was 2 a.m. on a Tuesday night, and a man who had just finished work was driving home. His drive home was the most eventless time of the day, but he enjoyed it for that very reason. The lack of cars on the roads meant that he could drive a lot faster than usual and get away with it. The true dream of every driver. However, despite the smooth roads, there was something present that nobody on scene would have expected. Take a look.
You can go meet up with him and see if she can get him to confess. And it's a tough decision, I'm sure, but Amy ultimately agrees. She wears the wire, and she picks up Chuck, and she...
Early on in the clip, the faded figure of a human crossing the road could be seen, which was very clearly not a real person. If it was, then a car would have hit them. Which one didn't? This was very clearly a spirit having some late-night fun. Some of you are likely not convinced yet though, and I don't blame you. The amount of false sightings on this website are abundant, and you can't trust anything or anyone. Don't worry, this time we found some extra evidence.
So this is a follow-up video on my last TikTok, the one right before this, about the paranormal sighting that I seen. Just for people that are a little leery, thinking it was a person and not that it was some paranormal, some figure, some something. This just kind of adds into it that it probably is some type of paranormal thing. I had another driver reach out to me after I posted it on Facebook that he was going through there about 20 minutes before I did with another driver right behind him, and they seen the same thing as I did, but they just didn't catch it on camera. And today, at the same time as we went through there was a car accident, multiple cars. 2 people ended up dying. 2 people went to the hospital. Well, the 2 people that went to the hospital they gave a statement that they seen a white figure in the road, and that's why the one car swerved into the other car. And this was around the same exact time, but 1 day later than when I seen it and he seen it. And his brother's a state trooper and told him this. So I'm sure we'll be able to get these statements at some point in the future, but this just adds on to this might be real. This might not be somebody just walking in the road, because they said they tried to pull the cameras from the interstate and there was nobody walking in the road at that time. So you guys go ahead and pause and read that. Tell me this shit don't make sense. Tell me this don't make sense. If anybody knows anything else about this, it was on Illinois, Highway 57 going northbound right after the 340, right in Markham, Illinois. Right after the 340 is where this happened. 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row. So, y'all tell me if you know anything about any of this, or comment whatever you guys think about it, but it just keeps getting crazier and crazier.
The night after that incident, the faded spirit had another sighting, and this time around it caused an entire crash. I'm not going to reinstate what the man said since he already explained the situation, but what I will say is that you are crazy if that wasn't enough evidence for you to believe this scenario happened. On May 29th of 2018, a man was chilling in his house when he started to hear noises coming from the basement. Now at first, he believed that the noises were coming from a squatter, a person living in his house without any permission. But still unsure, the man decided to investigate, and what he found was beyond terrifying.
Doing this cabinet crown, and I think there's a squatter in this house. I think it's in here. Hello? 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 Anybody here?
Strangely, when the man reached the basement, no one could be seen. As well as this, the lights started flickering on their own accord while the switch was still in view with no one there. It was at this moment that the man realized he wasn't housing a squatter, but a spirit instead. He decided to continue searching though, as he wasn't completely convinced, but his mindset was about to change.
Hello?
The heck is that?
Hello? Who is it?
Somehow the door managed to open without anyone behind it, but this was only the beginning. When the man went to inspect the door, nobody was there, and to make things even worse, the basement door slammed shut. When the man opened it, the light started flickering again, and this time he dropped his phone in fear. The ghost seemed to enjoy the device though, as it spun around on the floor without anything pushing it. The man in the house moved out a week later and has witnessed no paranormal activity since. In this short video, a worker called Evelyn is in fear after something happened during her shift. She is accompanied by her boss Dave, who is known for being very patient and kind around the workplace. However, even he was skeptical after this clip. Evelyn had called him down to the room she was working in and claimed she saw a door slam shut by itself. Now at first, Dave didn't believe her story. He didn't think ghosts were real and dismissed Evelyn's fear, but when he went to investigate, all of that changed.
All right, I'm with Evelyn Sims. We're using this recording here due to a statement. She says that there's been things in the back area that have been... All right, explain to us what happened, Evelyn.
I was looking at my little supplies, and I don't want to go back here.
Well, I'm here now. Oh, don't worry.
But you go with me.
All right, so what happened?
The door just shut on its own. It just sit by itself, David. I don't know if I want to go. I don't feel good about that.
All right, hang on, just wait.
I don't want to go back there.
Let me just take a look. Now, you say what happened now?
The door shut by itself. Itself, Dave.
All right. Let me see. I'm looking. I'm not going back there either.
Was you scared?
I'm not
going back there. I got a funny feeling about this.
Oh, the door's closed. I mean, it was open?
It was open and it just slammed by itself.
All right, let me see if I can get it.
Slammed.
All right. Let me go back there. All right, I'm gonna put it on hold. All right. Well, go ahead. I'm standing here. Oh, hold on. I got work call or the call. Go ahead.
If you
Did you hear
remember
that?
when you took a shirt over to the modulars, you took two shirts. One of them said Sawyer. Remember I told you to bring it back?
Ooh, what did I do with it? Oh man.
What's your location?
I'm on the garden level right now. I'm investigating something that happened down in the boiler room with Evelyn. I'll be right up. All right. Well, don't worry. Go get your whatever your material is.
Oh, David. I don't think I want to go there.
Come on, go ahead. Evelyn, just go.
No.
All right, hang on. I'll go. Hang on. Okay. I'm right here. I see the door. All right, go get your stuff. I'm right here.
Oh, David, I'm scared.
Don't be. Hold on. Wait a minute. Just wait. Is there anybody back here? Go ahead.
No.
What the shit? Oh my God. No way.
Did you see it? I closed.
Hold on, let's go.
Mr. Ortiz or...
Stand by. Oh my God.
As he sent Evelyn to go and get her stuff, a chair flew towards them without anyone else in the room. Both people were understandably in fear, and Dave had been convinced that Evelyn's story was real, but this was only the start. Somehow, a loud clanging noise could be heard at the end of the video, indicating that a large metal object had dropped onto them nearby. It was at this point that the camera cut, and to make things worse, Evelyn and Dave were never seen again. Now on this channel, we've covered some disturbing clips, but none of them are nearly as bad as the one we're about to discuss. It was May 18th of 2022, and a woman called Letitia was alone in her Airbnb. At least she thought it was. It was at midnight when she was woken up by a noise she couldn't have possibly imagined. Take a look. Despite thinking she was alone, Letitia heard a scream coming from inside the Airbnb. Now at first she was frightened and refused to move, but when she was brave enough to investigate, she did but found nothing. YouTubers are known for faking and over-editing their videos to the extreme, more specifically horror YouTubers. From cringy 3 a.m. challenges to fake haunted hospital explorations, the possibilities are endless. However, amongst all of these fake videos are hidden real ones that show undeniable evidence of paranormal activity. The upcoming video is one of them. It was uploaded on June 17, 2023, and shows a man showing and telling his story of being haunted. Things get very weird.
First I was hearing just something like stuff moving around, or, you know, stuff like that. You know, just normal house noises. And then a couple of voices I've heard. It's kind of freaking me out, though, you know. I thought it was gone.
Now at first, nothing seems wrong with this clip. On the surface, it's just the man explaining his experience. However, if we zoom into the skeleton, we can see that its head tilts to the left out of nowhere. This is very weird as no one else is in the room. However, this is just a minute into a 20-minute video. So much worse stuff happens. Out of nowhere, the door opens on its own accord, and as if that wasn't creepy enough, it closes. Now the man claims that nobody was in the house at the time of this, which makes it completely unexplainable. Perhaps a strong breeze managed to breach the house, or maybe something was present that the human eye cannot detect. It's likely the latter, and the next clip in the video confirms that.
I don't want it to be more than that, you know? I don't want to know that I'm being fucking possessed or something, you know? I felt something. I keep fucking hearing shit. Why is that? This fucking closet door. Hey! Hey, stop!
Somehow, the man's closet opened by itself, similar to the door, except this time he was home. He went to go and close it and was understandably confused, but it was at this moment he heard footsteps creeping towards the room he came from. The man's wife was home at the time, so it's possible that she was walking on the second floor and it got misinterpreted, but later that day she came downstairs saying that she was having a nap. If she was asleep, then no one could have possibly been making those noises, at least no normal person. The following video was taken in the children's ward at the hospital. The child is called Layla, and her mother, Sydney, decided to visit her while she was being treated. At first, everything seemed normal, and the nurse was being friendly with the mother. However, after a minute, the nurse let the two have some alone time and left the ward. This is when another nurse entered the room.
Okay, go. Who is it?
It's so weird.
Is it you?
Is it me? It's not me.
It's motion sensor. There's no one over there. Okay, do it one more time.
Do it one more time, please.
Okay. One last time.
Okay. Wait, so are we friends now? Can you do it again if we're friends now?
Oh.
We're not friends? You don't like me? Okay.
Are you a doctor?
Are you a... Wait, so do it again if you're a doctor. Wait, are you messing with us or are you actually a doctor? I don't know. Are you just messing with us? Okay. Well.
I don't know.
Weirdly, the tap continuously turned on in sync with Layla's questions, going as far as revealing that it was a doctor. Now, what makes this clip strange is that neither the child nor the mother are freaked out that a presence is answering their questions, but are actually laughing and engaging with it, and this was only the beginning.
Are you a guy or girl? So do it. Do it. Okay. Okay, so do it if you're a guy. So do it if you're a guy. Turn it on if you're a guy.
Nope.
So you're a girl? You're a girl. Are you? So she's a girl? Yippee.
Let's see.
Hi, do you have a bracelet? Or just want to make sure she has a bracelet on.
Yeah.
You're good.
So double checking. You're a girl. Yes,
Oh.
maybe?
She got scared of the nurses.
It's okay. The nurses are gone. I promise. So she's a girl.
And just for show, let's see if it comes on right here.
Okay.
I'm right here.
Okay.
Nothing.
So now, let's see. Hello again. Oh, I should ask what color her eyes are.
Yeah, I can play a game.
So do. Okay.
Now to play a game, okay?
So do it if your eyes are blue. Okay. Do it if your eyes are green.
Oh.
Wait, so your eyes are green? Okay, hair color time.
Beeps, are you seeing this?
Are you blonde?
Yeah. I think it's red hair.
Do you have red hair, like my friend? Do you have red? You have red hair. You have red hair.
That was creepy.
What do you mean creepy?
How did Biba guess it? Yeah, it is creepy.
Do you think it's crazy that my friend guessed it?
No.
You think your hair color is common?
Are you scared of the nurses?
You don't like the nurses? I'm sorry. I promise that they're only going to come back for my x-ray or MRI or whatever. Are you going to come with me during my MRI x-ray thingy? You're going to be with me? I'm so happy.
Layla started to inquire more about the ghost and try to figure out what it looked like when it was alive. She discovered that it had green eyes and ginger hair, which made the girl giggle, but the next question was quite unsettling. Layla asked the ghost if it didn't like the nurses, to which it turned the tap on, indicating that the answer was yes. This is rather strange, as the ghost claimed it was a doctor, but didn't like the current ones. Layla's mother, Sydney, theorizes that the spirit was there to haunt the nurses, but I guess we'll never know. However, many people that saw these clips believed that there wasn't a ghost at all, and there was an issue with the sensor on the tap, but Sydney sought out to disprove them.
What?
Despite this, the comment section was still fairly negative about this supposed evidence and was tough to convince, but part 3 to this sage was about to provide concrete proof. At this point, the two had been in the room with the ghost for 20 minutes, and Layla decided to call her dad on Snapchat to showcase the ghost, but little did she know things were about to get much crazier.
You want to play another game?
Yes. Or no?
Okay, just watch my camera, okay, Dad?
Watch your camera, baby.
Watch my camera, okay?
Okay.
It's a friend.
We have a friend in the room.
Have you always been with us or stayed at this hospital?
Are you in the hospital?
All the time? So we just met? Do you like to say hi to other kids when they come?
Are you scared of the nurses? Did the nurses scare you when they came in the room?
He doesn't like to be on camera.
It's a girl.
It's a girl.
How dare you?
We asked.
So you're a girl, right?
She doesn't like to be on camera.
Well, the camera can't see her. She has red hair and green eyes. Yes? Red hair, green eyes?
No, she said blue eyes.
Oh.
Yeah, see?
Green. Wait, did you say blue eyes?
You're scaring your dad. Do you like to scare people?
Oh, she has, wait, so she has blue eyes?
Do you have blue eyes, yes? Or do you have green eyes? Blue eyes?
Is she blinking the lights? Was she blinking the lights?
No, do you see the water, baby? The faucet.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, so can you flicker the lights or no?
Did you see that?
The call started off with a few questions to show him that the tap could turn on and off by itself, but eventually the dad mentioned flickering the lights instead of turning on the tap to give him more evidence. This led Layla to ask the ghost if she could flicker the lights, and if we slow down the footage, the lights dimming at that exact moment. Could this be the act of a ghost, or is it just a coincidence? I'm keen to hear what you have to think in the comments. Ali was watching some television in the living room when he discovered something absurd was taunting him. It was roughly 1 p.m. in the afternoon, the time of which you would least expect the paranormal to prosper. However, this wasn't the case for Ali.
Здравствуйте, это моя машина. Что хочу про нее рассказать? Опа, что там происходит? Бутылочка упала. Что это такое? Не понял. Что это там? Непонятно. Ого. Непонятно. Что там такое? Ого. Ай-яй-яй.
Seemingly out of the blue, Ali started to hear the noise of items dropping, which really confused him since nothing was visibly falling. It could have been his wife upstairs though, so he decided to pass it off as that and continue watching his show. Not the best decision of his life for sure. The banging carried on, except the location of them changed. What prior sounded like the bangs were above him was now occurring in the same room, and he decided to get up and investigate. It was at this moment that he witnessed a shirt moving by itself. Making things much worse, Ali called for his wife to ask what was happening, and he received no response. He later found out that she was doing some shopping to stock up the fridge. Someone or something was tormenting him that afternoon, and he still has no idea what it was, and he likely never will. While most spirits are discreet about their actions, others tend to be very out there, and that can definitely be said about the spirit in the next clip. Sufyan was working in a factory in the middle of the day, and this was deemed by him to be his most boring shift of the week. Barely anything went on during Tuesdays, and the shift consisted of sitting around and answering the odd phone call. However, the one-off incident in the following video was far from boring. I'm sure the employee would have still preferred the boring time though. Somehow, the ladder started walking off almost like a dog as its four legs moved in the motion that the domestic animals would do. This was very creepy, as it should have been impossible for a piece of equipment to move in such a manner. If there is one thing you have learned from this channel though, it is that when the paranormal gets involved, the impossible becomes more than possible. On October 13th of 2019, a couple were in the kitchen when one of the most absurd phenomena of their lives came to them. After the video, the woman explained that she no longer felt safe in the kitchen alone and always wanted her man in there with her, who surprisingly was not nearly as fazed. It was roughly 9 p.m. when the following footage was captured on their security camera. Take a look. The whisk managed to turn itself on without any human interaction, and this seemed very unlikely to have happened without a spirit. In order to activate the electric whisk, you would have to press down a button very hard because it was getting old and stiff. The couple could barely apply enough pressure to make it work, so it was almost impossible for something else to. Regardless of the odds though, the whisk prevailed and left the poor couple shivering. This wasn't enough to completely put them off the kitchen though, not that the next encounter wouldn't do the job.
Яйца пожарь.
If the last encounter with the spirit was not believable enough for the couple, then this one most certainly was. Not only did the stove activate itself randomly, the saucepan also moved over it, indicating that the ghost wanted to get its chef hat on. The man did come back with a very humorous response though, and it put the spirit right back into its place. He placed some eggs next to the scene, prompting it to cook them for him, almost like a servant. If that isn't an expert way to handle such a stressful situation for most, then I don't know what is. Vacation is the best part of most people's years, and it's understandable why. Traveling the world to experience new cultures, sights, and cuisines is interesting, refreshing, and fun. However, there is one key risk with taking extensive breaks: robberies. Burglars are smart and target homes of which the residents are far away, so that if they take action, it becomes highly unlikely that someone can prevent them. In our next clip, it featured a middle-aged woman whose best friends across the road were flying out to Europe from the USA. They gave her the house keys and asked for the building to be checked up on every other day, and they would return the favor once the vice versa happened, the woman going abroad. They both expected nothing to happen, and this was simply a safety precaution just in case of an event. To their dismay though, something did occur, but nothing they could have predicted.
No, no es normal eso. Ahí paró. Sí, porque no es que sube y baja así del...
Immediately after noticing that someone was in the house, the woman called 911 to report a potential robbery. The police were sent out to the building and gave it a thorough search. Nothing was missing, there was no sign of a break-in, and none of the lights ended up being turned on. The woman was fortunate to have captured a video, otherwise she would have been charged for a false report. After reviewing the footage, the police thought it must have been the shadows being casted, and the light was on because LEDs can quote-unquote glitch. I think we all know what really happened that night though. In the following video, AG, a recent university graduate, was in his house about to take a shower. He had been through a long day at his part-time job and was more than ready to quit in 2 months' time before his huge gap year where he was going to travel the entirety of Europe with his friends. This is besides the point though. AG was tired, very tired, and all he needed was a relaxing shower to take everything off his mind. Regardless of this being a necessity though, a certain spirit wasn't too chuffed with the idea. Randomly, AG heard laughter coming from all of the rooms around him, as well as several toiletry noises. From flushing toilets to dropping items, this spirit was not playing nice, and it had the man in complete confusion. In the end, he decided to pin it onto plumbing-related issues and called his local plumbing service to come and sort it out. He was a big believer in logical solutions and couldn't bring himself to see the possibility of it being a ghost. This would soon change, though. 2 days after the shower incident, AG was doing one of his main hobbies, playing the piano, when the same thing came to strike again. Have a watch.
Nggak masuk akal. Ini masih siang, masih jam 1:30.
Whilst playing, he suddenly heard a bang and went outside to investigate what it was. He was hoping that it was nothing to do with the infrastructure out there, as it needed some work doing. Fortunately for him, there was nothing there and no signs of any damage. However, all of his luck status vanished when he came back inside the house. First of all, the piano started playing on its own accord, and to make things even worse, a shirt slipped under the door in the most unnatural way possible. While all of these events officially made him terrified of the house, it wasn't enough to put him off of his piano hobby just yet though, and he went on to play for another day. Everything was okay during his next session, and nothing came of it whatsoever. However, he got too confident and started playing again after a break as small as 10 minutes. It was here that the spirit struck again. After hearing this evil kind of cackle, Eggy took a step back and really considered his life choices. Never in a million years would he have expected his piano of all things to be haunted, but he did not want to sell it. That piano was the one he used from day one. It was going to be the piece of equipment that traveled by his side from zero to hero, and he wasn't going to allow a silly ghost to ruin this. Angry, he went to his home gym to do some boxing practice. He usually practiced when mad because he could get the most out of his punches, but even this didn't act as a liable escape from the paranormal.
Ada nyala, Cok, nggak ada orang.
From the laughter to the piano, the exact same events were unfolding, and it began to seem inescapable for Eiji. This is when he decided to make the most impactful decision of his life, but not impactful in a good way. He listed his piano on eBay for a few $100s, and fortunately, it was sold and shipped very quickly. There was one thing that the buyer forgot to collect though, the spirit.
Ini jam berapa sih? Setengah 11. Stop. Jing, belum keadaan nyala ya. Ya Allah.
Now at first, the woman looked exactly like Eigi's girlfriend, but on camera, she vanished out of thin air. The real question is whether or not the cause of this happened to be a camera glitch. Considering the efficiency of that thing though, it was a highly unlikely possibility. Haunted exploration is a hobby that many people enjoy, but others actually get paid for it. Yes, one of the world's many professions include documenting paranormal activity, and the person in the following video did this. It was late at night, and Wataru, a Japanese ghost hunter, decided he would spend the day exploring the old house of an ancient cult. The cult died off 5 years ago, but many said that their spirits still haunt the house to this day. Wataru was paid by a few people who were curious for answers. On his 15-minute adventure, he came across a few things, but surprisingly, not as much as the audience expected from him. Today we'll look at one of the most prominent, which definitely left him believing that despite the cult being dead, they still owned the property.
Hello. Assalamualaikum.
Hello. Welcome. Turn off the lights. Welcome.
Turn off the light.
Hello. Welcome. Hello. Welcome. I was a child. Hello. Welcome.
Okay. Whoa. If you're outside, come on in. Show us your...
Shortly after greeting whatever could possibly have been in the room, something fell from a shelf, and this was very unnatural, considering the ground did not shake in the slightest. Paired with this, Wataru explained that he could sense a weird aura in the room, and his hairs stood up on his neck, which was a very clear sign that something of paranormal essence was there. It's safe to say that the house still hosted the cult, and Wataru made some decent money from his findings. However, he was spooked and considered quitting the job forever. We don't know if he followed through with this decision. In the following video, a man was in his house alone when an unknown entity decided to reveal its presence. It was 2 a.m. and Abdul was enjoying his night without his wife. He ate a lot of the food from the fridge and watched some television, but then he remembered he needed to iron his clothes as he had work in the afternoon of the next day. He went upstairs and grabbed the board, but it was when he came back that something shocking took place. Somehow, the board continuously moved without any human interaction, and Abdul was left completely and utterly stunned. He spectated the movement for a solid 10 seconds before deciding it was best to leave the room and go straight to bed. His wife told him off for not completing the ironing, but Abdul explained that it was more than worth it. He has never encountered anything similar since. The man in the upcoming piece of footage was actually in a similar situation to the one in the last clip, Abdul. He was called Alex, and he was home alone one night. His wife was out clubbing for one of her best friend's birthdays, and this, understandably, left Alex feeling quite restless and uneasy. He decided he wasn't going to sleep until she was finished up, and asked her to call if she wanted a pickup. She said she would. It reached around 1 a.m. in the morning, and Alex told his girl that if she didn't send a text by that time, he would start to get very worried, and lived up to that. He started wandering the house with his phone, begging for a phone call, but just as he was about to dial her number, the weirdest night of his life began.
Is anybody here? Oh my god, man. What the fuck? No fucking shit. Hello? I heard you. No. No fucking way. No fucking way. Oh my god. Hello? And I swear I just saw a fucking shadow moving here. So what's this fucking light switch? Oh man, I'm absolutely fucking shitting myself. No. That can't be. Fuck off. Holy fucking shit. Nah, fuck this, oh no. Nah, fuck this, I'm out of here. Goodbye. Fuck this fucking...
First of all, the lights started flickering, but this could easily have been an electricity issue, so this wasn't any evidence of the paranormal. However, once Alex entered the kitchen, all hell broke loose. Literally. From cutlery flying to tables moving, Alex had no idea what on earth was going on and left the house immediately. He drove to the club to join his girl, and they stayed for another few hours before going back home. Nothing else happened when they arrived back. These security guards noticed a disturbance outside, so sent the head one, Haseb, to go and investigate. Hasib brought a walkie-talkie with him to make sure he could communicate with the others inside, who had cameras on every inch of the premises. This way, if any harm came his way, he could be notified in time to escape. He walked down the car park and looked around to see if he could find the black figure that they saw on the CCTV just moments ago. However, he didn't see anything. On the other hand though, the people on the cameras did.
Gerardo, fíjate detrás tuyo.
Perilla. Ma, usted está sacando un monitor, mae, dígale algo. ¿Salió algo ahí?
Correcto, aquí salió algo raro. Mae, y véngate mejor.
Todo el día, mano, todo el día.
Strangely, black figure seemingly riding a scooter could be seen behind Hasib, and the guards on the walkie-talkie quickly started shouting for him to turn around. With urgency, Hasib quickly turned to see what he was being asked to look at, but to his surprise, nothing was there. It had vanished. At first, he believed that the guards just played a trick on him, as it was a very banterful workplace, but once he came back inside, they showed him the footage. None of them can explain what happened to this day. Rachel was in her apartment on a Tuesday night when a boring day turned into an exciting one, but not the fun kind of exciting. She had experienced her first day of university lectures, and being honest with herself, she did not like it at all. Usually, when you are in a new class, it's a time to make new friends, and it turns out great. But unfortunately, she studied maths, and her class was full of antisocial people, not the best place for a good day. When she arrived back at her apartment, she kicked back and watched the new episode of her favorite show, but it didn't really go to plan because 15 minutes in, something crazy began.
Okay, hi. Sorry, I'm just watching something, but literally, hold on. There's no electricity in our place right now, okay? Turned it off, but I swear, shite. Okay, this door, Jesus, has been doing this literally all day. And look, the shite. Oh my god. Okay, looking out. Hello? What the fuck? Hold on. I'm going out there. Hold on, there's no light. Oh, I turned the flash on because I couldn't see shite out there. I have my effing mace. It's on. Okay. I swear. Blood of Jesus. Jesus. Oh my gosh, Jesus. Okay, this door always moves because of the wind. I'm not really worried about that. Hello? It's just like mad dark if I don't. Shit. Jesus, hold on. No. Fuck that. No.
Repetitively, the door started to bang and it really annoyed Rachel. She stood up to go and see what it was, but to her dismay, there was no one once she opened the door. On top of this, whilst she was standing in the corridor, a strange noise echoed down which freaked her out enough to turn back into her living room. This was the day that she found out her room was haunted.